Okay, so once again, this is Jonathan Miller with the Hometown Historian channel. This was something that I wasn't planning on doing yet, but with the amount of, and I hate to say changes, because it's really not changes, it's just more add-ons to the channel, but the channel is going to be going through a little bit of a growth. Here we're going to be adding some new services, there's new things that we're doing, and because of the channel sort of making these growth changes to everything that we do right here before, I felt right here before, as fall starts and before winter, start getting this going before the new year. That way we're sort of hitting 2023 with a running start, because we've had a number of times, because of health issues and stuff like that. For those of you that don't know, I'm a partial amputee. I went through some pretty bad episodes last February. I almost died. A lot of you know me from the Wandering Woodsman channel. Cliff and I doing a number of series together and that type of stuff. And then, of course, the channel then started last July 4th of 2021. But so with the expanding and trying to get this channel to be able to sort of branch out further and do different things. We're starting a few different things that we've talked about for a long time. Plus, I want to take this opportunity for those of you that have only, say, been with the channel the last 6 months. I want to reintroduce the channel, talking about the purpose of the channel, talking about the different things, series that we have to offer, because this is very much a channel that's based on having series or playlists, if you will. So you can go into the channel, it's home, and it'll have playlists down the list there, and then you can go through and say, hey, I'm interested in the rail fanning type stuff. We do a series called America's Rail Station, so you can go into that and then watch the 4 or 5 videos that are in that right now. And each of these playlists or series will continue to expand, because now that my health is getting quite good and things are starting to normalize to a degree, I am trying to expand these individual series as well. Some of them are quite large, like the Pennsylvania Historical Marker series, just because we've done so many of them. Country Roads Take Me Home has been one that's a decent sized series. Some of them only have a couple videos in, because you hit those momentary. Just started them right before a little bit of a health crisis, because back in July I had to go get 4 more surgeries, and that sort of, I've had these moments where the channel is going really good and then bam, something hits. And so we're trying to figure out what's the best way to go about things. But now that I'm getting content out practically every single day and it's consistent and it's doing really well again, there was a couple things I wanted to start. Some other things that have sort of been running through my mind, which I'm going to talk about, some of the new stuff that's going to be happening. Some of the stuff is going to be still a month or 2 away, and that's the reason we're starting it now, because I know the process is going to take me a little while, maybe procrastination or whatever, but some of the things take a little while to get started and set them up right and go from there. But so this video, I'm going to use a lot of pictures, my photography, and then just do the audio work. That way you don't have to watch me for 20 minutes or whatever, however long this is. Hopefully it's not that long, but if it is, just bear with me. But there's a lot of cool things that we're doing with the channel. Like I said, I want to do a little bit of a reintroduction so people know what the channel is about and the purpose behind it, sort of the overall goal of what we're trying to do here. So with that, thank you and enjoy the rest of the video. Alright, so I have my notepad with me here, because I do have a tendency of rambling on and not staying on point. So I want to make sure in this one I stay on point and talk about things in order. So the new stuff, there's a number of different things, and I'll wind out putting up at the end of this snippet, I'll wind up putting up the links to these things, and also, as always, in the comments of the video, I will put those links that you can actually touch and take you hopefully directly to the site of these different things. Also, if you're looking for them on every single video in the right below where the picture, actually the video is, there's a little down arrow. You hit that and that's descriptions. That actually always has all the links and the ways to contact and that type of stuff. So that's always on every single video, and also in the channel where it says about, it'll also have all those different links as well. So the first major change which is necessary is Patreon. I had talked about as we get closer to 1,000 subscribers, when the channel gets monetized. The channel's getting big enough now where I want to try to go out more often, and like Cliff always has, if you watch his channel, when he puts a video up, he'll talk about the day, and it'll usually be about 20 to 21 days, somewhere in that range, that was filmed before, because he builds up. When Cliff goes out, he has an itinerary that he's going to make 5 or 6 videos, usually, if it's not local. So he has a backlog of videos, and that's why there's that amount of period behind. I'd like to build myself up to that point as well, so if I do hit one of those times where my health sort of goes down for a couple days, or I get sick, or you have bad weather, that type of stuff, I'd like to have that backup so I can continue having that everyday content. Also, I want to have different types of content, so it's necessary to start this Patreon. I'll put, like I said, I'll put the link up, because it's a way for, basically it pays for the basics so the channel can support itself and function. Because right now I'm still trying to get certain things sorted. I can't work right now. It just sort of is what it is. I'm able to do a little bit here and there, but it's nothing really of consequence. So having the Patreon allows me to fill my tank up, to go out and do these videos and create the content for the channel for you guys, and to have that continue. Patreon usually functions on like a tier level type thing. I feel it's suitable for, like, say, like gaming content, that type of stuff. So if you're a tier 1, you get access to this part of the game extra and that type of stuff. For YouTube channels, some people that I know do that, and this isn't a hit on them or anybody in that regard. I just don't like the tier level type thing. I personally feel like you're separating your subscribers and your viewers, and every single gift is valued, and I don't want one gift to quote unquote be valued above the other and sort of set this group like, well, you get content, this specific content. I want to have my content available to everybody, like every bit of my content. And maybe, like we talked about, like on Facebook, I'll have, you know, a little bit here and there that I'll put up some small, like 1 minute, 2 minute snippet videos that'll be on there, just sort of encourage people to join the Facebook page, because Facebook page is a way that I put all my videos up and my Instagram pictures, so it gives people access to that, because we do have a Facebook, we have an Instagram. I'm considering, God forbid, having a TikTok. I'm not really thrilled about that, but it's another avenue that's free to be able to market my channel, basically. So I'd be unwise not to take advantage of that. So that's something that'll probably happen in the future as well. But the Patreon is there purely to support the channel until the channel becomes monetized, and then in essence can help support me as well. But it's not much when you first start. It just, that's people, unless you have like supporters, like major corporation supporters, it's like you're not getting rich off of it. It just is what it is. So that's why I'm doing the Patreon, and that started immediately. Another thing that's going to be starting as well is a merch shop. It's going to start out smaller, basic items. I've designed a logo for right now until my older niece Bethany designs the new one, which is going to be a little bit more minimalistic but have a cooler look to it. So once we have that, then we'll start doing t-shirts and mugs and different stuff that'll have the, you know, we'll see you all about town and let's get up to more adventures and whatnot. And then my younger niece Ella will be creating the items with the more cutesy, her artwork. It's like cartoonish, cutesy for kids and that type of stuff. So that's a little ways away for that happening. I think the merch shop will probably be at least a month away, because I got to figure that out, design the stuff, find what I'm happy with, and go from there. And then as Benny and Ella are able to design their parts, then that'll wind up getting put in and replace a lot of stuff and go from there, and then it'll become a much larger merch shop. And also, as I said, the one thing I do want to do with Patreon is the people that support, which I want to thank Kate and Jason as the first 2 Patreon supporters. And it can be anything, because Cliff and I talked about this. For instance, $20 is different to one person to another depending on where they are. I grew up lower middle class, so $20 is a decent amount of money for me. And it's just, so a lot of people do like $1 per month to support the channel, because that adds up. Yeah, it's a tank of gas. So, and it's, like I said, every little bit is appreciated. I don't like asking for money or anything like that, but it's one of those things when you run one of these channels, it's all out of pocket and you're not making anything, so you're supporting your channel, and right now that's a little more difficult for me to do. So that's why I'm doing it, because the channel's growing and I want to keep that growth going. And like I said, the merch shop is also, you know, this isn't going the Dollar Tree where you get a $2 mug. You know, they're $5 to $8 somewhere in that range of shirts too. I'm trying to keep everything as low priced as possible, but you know, it's the merch shop is meant purposely, it's a little more expensive because it's there in essence to support the channel. It's another source of revenue to be able to go out and do these things and go further and further and further, because there's a lot of things. Like, I'd like to expand beyond the 5 counties that I'm primarily staying in Pennsylvania right now. I'd like to also potentially be going up to New York. I don't know if it's this year will happen or not. There's a number of other YouTubers that I'd like to coordinate with and do some cool stuff with, and it all takes time and money and all that. So that's the purpose of these 2 things. Another new thing that's going to be happening, like I said, there's a TikTok. I do want to get more content going out, and Facebook I'm still in the midst of trying to figure out, so I don't have to manually do it. You're supposed to be able to take your TikTok and take the pictures not only to my personal page, but also to the Hometown Historian page. For some reason, it just is not wanting to coordinate with me right now, but hopefully I can figure that out. I have been trying to get as many of the pictures of Instagram up there for my photography, just as another cool thing that's on the Facebook page. You do have the hometownhistorian at gmail.com. That's the email that it's one gentleman had asked, is this okay to contact you in this way to have discussions on stuff with the channel, with ideas that they have. Feel free to contact me. I try to get back to everybody as quickly as I can. Some people use Facebook Messenger on the Hometown Historian page to contact me. Some people use there's a messenger service on Instagram as well. Some people directly we text back and forth and things of that nature. So yeah, I try to get back to you as soon as I can. Some of the people that I contact and go back and forth with pretty much every single day, every other day, every couple days. Sometimes it takes me about half a day. It just depends on what's going on, and go from there. But I do try to get back to everybody as quickly as I can, because I appreciate every single one of you. It's just sometimes health stuff happens. Sometimes it's just a nutty day. I got projects around home that I'm doing. I got errands that I'm running. I'm doing a lot of stuff where I'm trying to clear out my one storage unit so I can minimize as much as possible. So I'm meeting a lot of people off of Facebook Marketplace, and it just winds up being sort of a nutsy day. But that's all there. Let me try to think if there's also another thing I plan on doing. In my content creator video that I just did, I talked about marker quests that Laura Klotz runs, that she does on the Pennsylvania historic markers, and I find that such a great resource. It's so very, very well written and all that, and I really appreciate Laura and all the hard work she does. And we're hoping at some point, potentially, especially with the Molly McGuire video that Cliff and I will do, try to get together with her, get her input, because she's done a ton of research on that. She's in that general region, so she knows a lot about it. I'd like to get some kind of interview, even just doing an interview with her on what she does with her blog. That's another thing I'd like to do. I'd like to do a blog potentially a book on the channel from get-go, like July 4th when we started at the Hanover Presbyterian Cemetery. I would like to do a blog starting with that and then start building up through and just sort of give the day-to-day functions of the channel, like what was involved with the research, that type of stuff. Maybe go into why this series, what goes into this series, and all that type of stuff. And that's sort of what we want to do. That'll start sometime this fall. It's another resource for the channel as well. So with that, we will go on to the purpose of the channel.